Hello and welcome. I am Ladi Akeredoluale. Tonight, at least 20 persons are killed in Plateau State as suspected headsmen attack Injure community in Bassa local government area. Suspected ritual killer Ifeanyi Dike, who escaped from police custody in River State, is rearrested in Jos, Plateau State. No end yet to industrial action embarked upon by university lecturers as federal government and ASU conclude reconciliation talks in Abuja. An 8.2 magnitude earthquake hits Mexico, kills at least 33 persons.
On business news tonight, federal government projects higher economic growth for Nigeria following the country's exit from its worst recession in over 2 decades.
And in sports news, Nigeria's D Tigers begin their quest to retain the FIBA Men Afrobasket Championship title in Tunisia.
And from Abuja, Governor El-Rufai denies plans to contest for president in 2019, insists on backing President Buhari's re-election.
We'll begin tonight from Plateau State in north-central Nigeria, where the death toll from an early morning attack has risen to 20. Eyewitnesses are suspecting that the attack on Injure village in Bassa local government area of the state may have been a reprisal allegedly carried out by a suspected herdsman following an earlier dispute between the villagers. 6 of the 20 victims are children, while 10 others sustained gunshot wounds as well as deep cuts from machetes. The attack on Injure village is coming at a time Plateau State is enjoying relative peace with concerted efforts towards harmonizing various ethnic groups in the state.
Injure village, a serene community located in Nyango district of Bassa local government of Plateau State, north-central region of Nigeria, is mourning following a deadly attack on the community in the middle of the night. The attack has left a tale of distress as people refuse to be comforted over the deaths of their loved ones.
We are sleeping. I had just had gunshots all over the village. People were crying. We don't know. Like me now, I don't really know what happened. They just came and started killing us. I cannot tell now because some people are in the hospital. Some people scattered all over the neighboring villages.
The Special Task Force Commander and the Police Commissioner for Plateau State Command arrived with an assurance to improve on the security of the community.
As you can see, we take this kind of thing very, very seriously. In a place like this, the young boys, you can't be sleeping. People can sit on top of that place to watch out. And I'm assuring you, by the grace of God, this thing is going to stop.
Plateau State has enjoyed relative peace for some time now. The attack on Injure village raises the anxiety level of indigents who wonder what triggered the renewed attack.
And it's still bad news. Barely 1 week after a Catholic priest was shot in Imo State, another priest has been shot by gunmen, but this time in Lagos. The priest, Reverend Father Daniel Wankwo, was shot during an early morning mass held at St. Thomas's Catholic Church in Ikeja, the state capital. The gunmen, who posed as worshippers, had requested to have a dialogue with the priest after the mass before shooting him. The priest was immediately rushed to the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, where he is currently being treated. The Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Imohemi Edgar, confirmed the incident.
Today, at about 8 a.m., I received a very disturbing phone call that at the St. Thomas Catholic Church, Onilikiri Cement Bus Stop, Ikeja, the parish priest, Reverend Father Daniel Wankwo, was shot by unknown assailants. I immediately rushed to the church, and when I got there, I interviewed some of the witnesses. One of the witnesses who was with the Reverend Father at the time of the incident stated that three persons came to the parish and joined them to celebrate early morning mass. They stayed till the end of the mass and requested audience with the Reverend Father. After the mass, the Reverend Father granted them audience outside the church auditorium. And the Reverend Father was shocked when they asked him if he knew the person that promised them 5,000 naira. Of course, he replied that he didn't know of anybody who promised them 5,000 naira. And for reasons that we are still investigating and trying to determine, one of the assailants brought out a locally made gun and shot the Reverend Father on the tummy. He raised alarm and was rescued by other parishioners after the hoodlums had escaped by scaling the fence at the back of the church.
The ritual suspect who escaped from police custody in Port Harcourt, River State, has been rearrested by officers and men of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad in Barkin-Ladi local government area of Plateau State. Ifeanyi Dike was apprehended in a building in Barkin-Ladi in the process of escaping after a scuffle with the occupant that led to the two sustaining injuries and which attracted security agents. The suspect has been given account of how he was arrested by the police.
I wasn't an robber, but I couldn't get something to eat. When I begged, they couldn't give me anything. Rather, they asked me to what happened to me, and I wouldn't want people to know who am I. I was afraid that they could recognize me, so I stopped coming out to beg for food. So I eat raw corns. So reaching that day, the uncompleted building I was staying in, the owner wanted to work on it, but he came in the evening, bringing some tools to work on it. So I knew I had to leave the next day before he sees me. So the place I went to, I was thinking that nobody stays there because it was like an abandoned building. Getting there, I managed to enter inside with the digger I used to open the door. So in front of the building, another house was there, and somebody was there preparing food to eat. He ate a loaf of bread, dropped it, and left the house. So my intention was to take the loaf of bread since I was very hungry. But getting there, after eating a little, I said to go out and eat. Opening the door, I didn't know he has already come back to the house. So he raised the alarm, and I wanted to leave through the other doors, but I couldn't. So when I discovered that he knew I was there and he wanted to call people, I said to forcefully pass through the back door. So he caught me with a knife and then sliced my hand. Then I used the digger I was to slice him, to hit him down, and then I ran away.
Our correspondent, Emmanuel Ereyi, has been following this story since the suspected ritual killer fled Port Harcourt. He gives us an update on efforts made by the police before his arrest today.
It has been reported Ifeanyi Dike, suspected ritual killer who allegedly raped and killed an 8-year-old girl, has been rearrested. His rearrest comes about 1 month after he escaped from police custody. Same day he was arrested, sparking outrage and protest in some quarters, with many calling on the police to get him to face the law. He was, however, nabbed by men of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad in Jos, Plateau State, in the very early hours of this morning in what appeared to be another crime scene. Meanwhile, the River State Police Command is working with his counterparts in Plateau State to get him back to Port Harcourt to face the music as we keep our fingers on the story. Emmanuel Ereyi, reporting for Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the River State Police Command is insisting that the recaptured ritual killer will be tried in Port Harcourt, where he escaped from. What that probably means is the police in that command would have to tighten its security to get against another escape. Here's a story of how it all happened.
On August 19th, residents of Port Harcourt, the River State capital, woke up to the disturbing news of the cold-blooded killing of a young, innocent girl. Her suspected murderer, an undergraduate of the University of Port Harcourt, was paraded before a disbelieving crowd along with the remains of his victim. He had allegedly lured the child, who was a close relative, into his room, raped and killed her, then cut off vital organs from her body.
He alerted our men responded, we got him arrested and then interrogated him, after which he confessed to have killed her, raped her, killed her, and then got her vital organs for purposes of rituals.
When I look at the sack, I said, where's my daughter? They show me the sack bag. As I open it, I saw my daughter. I peep, I watch very quiet. The two eyes are off. The tongue is off. One of the breasts is off. Yeah. The two fingers, the small one, is off. Yeah. And if you watch at the center here, he carved out here. I start shouting. So this is not ordinary.
While in police custody, another disturbing twist to the saga emerged, as barely 2 days after his arrest, Ifeanyi Dike bolted from police custody.
It's true he escaped from one of our IPOs. He was taken for statement. After his statement, he was being taken back to the counter where he will be detained. It's a space of about 50 kilometers between the counter and the interrogation room. He just took to his heels. And the IPO, we found that instead of handcuffing him, he did not handcuff this guy, and that gave him an opportunity to run and escape.
The police, however, insisted that everything is being done to ensure the rearrest of the fleeing suspect.
I'm totally committed in seeing that the suspect is arrested, and any person involved, regardless of status, in aiding the escape of the suspect will be arrested, and if found wanting, will be dealt with in accordance with the law. Consequently, in pursuit of this resolve, one ex-sergeant, John Bosco Okoro Izzy, who after thorough investigation was discovered to have carried a premeditated action and aided the escape of the suspect even before he was taken into custody.
With the recapture of suspected ritual killer Ifeanyi Dike in faraway Jos, Plateau State, it may not only rekindle some confidence in the ability of the police to do their job efficiently, but also give the victim's family a sense of closure that justice will be served.
The Nigerian Army has announced plans to launch a special operation codenamed Pt.2 in the eastern parts of the country to curb cases of kidnappings, armed banditry, and other security threats. The operation is expected to help sustain peace in that area, and the Chief of Training and Operations, Major General David Amadu, is assuring Nigerians of the Army's commitment to protecting the territorial integrity of the country.
Exercise Pt.2 has become more expedient due to the mindless assassinations, even in religious places, attacks on security personnel and theft of weapons, kidnappings, armed banditry, and violent agitations by secessionist groups, amongst other crimes that have recently bedeviled the region. The need for troops to be exercised, refreshed, and imbibe the requisite skills to cope with these emerging security challenges within the 82 Division area of responsibility in aid of civil authority necessitates this exercise. Furthermore, in actualizing the Chief of Army Staff vision of having a professionally responsive Nigerian Army in the discharge of its constitutional roles, Exercise Pt.2 becomes highly desirable in conjunction with sister services and other security agencies to ensure success.
In part two, after the break, resident doctors insist on not calling off their industrial action if the federal government fails to pay them as agreed. Please stay on with us.